Okay, there we go. I was waiting for everything to kick in. That's always the fun bit, is if I don't start OBS until like the 10 minutes before I actually launch. I'm not sure everything will work when I switch to the when I switch over. Even if I've left it the exact same way, still got to question whether it's going to work or not. So yes, it is Captain Penis Friday. I'm working on a small color that we're gonna finish up. It's 550. It's a dark purple. It's again not blue. Um, and I'm just it's my last. I get the weekend off. It's my last shift of work for a couple days. I'm looking forward to having a couple days off with no big goals that I have to hit. But so we'll be working on 550. It's a small color. It's grape highlights because there's a bunch of grapes right here. Um, blah, 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 blah. And let's see, one second here. Move this over here. Oh, yeah. The 550 was a stripe down here. I was like, oh, that's easy enough to get done before stream. And then I got cleaning a little bit. Like I organized. Let's see which way I can turn. Nope. Mirror imaging with me does not work. So I cleaned my table a little bit. I just took my phone out. Oh. I'm still getting used to the new setup, you know. Oh my goodness. Deciding what and where the cameras should be. Oh yeah, so I looked up the Absinthe Dragon yesterday, and you had told me, and I had seen it before. It's gorgeous, gorgeous seeing it again. My Google search knew. It's like, you searched for this quite a while ago. You want to resume browsing? I'm like, sure. So I love getting down to the end of a color. I mean, even like getting this little area done with 550 will be a color finish on the page, which is nice. It's just weird because the blue when it's all filled in is hard to see on Pattern Keeper. So I have to zoom. I have to figure out how much I have to zoom in. That's there. Yeah, that's that. Yay! I counted right. It's always those small moments. That small moments when you when you took a leap. So I ordered the stuffed animal netting. so that I will be able to show off all of my stuffies in a net in a corner. I feel the 26,000 stitches of black because that's my equivalent of 939 in Divine Instinct, where over half of the entire project is one color. Mhm. I'm trying to there it, the purple jumps around a lot, so I'm trying to negotiate around so I don't waste as much string. Mhm. Ugh. So I have plans of being a potato this weekend. I've been very fortunate um, these past couple days where work has been equal parts easygoing and amusing. So last night I learned I had to have a coworker teach me something because while I've worked in healthcare for a very long time, a lot of the things that I did weren't necessarily like what I learned yesterday was very niche for specifically women and senior citizens. Like senior women use this procedure more than most. That and women who have just had a kid. So it's called a sitz bath. It is essentially my coworker calls it a coochie dip. But it is hot water in a pool set in your toilet so you can steam your hoo ha. And I had no idea what this was. I'm like, a sweet little lady comes out and goes, "Can you prepare my sitz bath?" And I'm like, "Your what?" And and I didn't have any problem prep. I don't have to do anything other than prep it, so it's not like I had to get in there or anything. But it was just it's like, what is this thing? And apparently it's to ease um pain in that area. Unfortunately, this lady is going through uh, uh, cancer treatment in that particular region, her perinatal region, and it's creating radiation burns. So she has to have her sitz bath and a specialized cream to ease those burns. But uh, what size needle? I have no earthly clue. Let's see. I think it's a. Oh, oh my goodness. Let's see. Is it this size? Nope, that's too big. It is a archaic needle that I found in a kit, or I found on my magnet. there's an ad break going on, so or oh yeah. So I'm holding off talking too much till it's all done. I'll continue my coochie dip story. Nope, that's not what I'm. Okay, so, um, yeah, I, I, I like to, I did appreciate the term coochie dip, so that's what it's going to be unofficially called. And the problem is this this lady doesn't understand the med windows that we are given by the state of Maine. We can give meds an out up to an hour before the administration time. It's in all actuality, it's a made up thing for us to make sure that we're not passing like giving someone a 3 times a day med every hour, kind of like once every 3 hours. Like yeah, um, nighttime meds all go with nighttime meds, that kind of thing. It's just it's a rule that just kind of is to keep people from being dicks. Um, but she has this 3 times a day. She has it at 6 in the morning. She has it at 2 in the afternoon. She has it scheduled for 6 in the evening. Now, from what I've gathered, she is not awake at 6 in the morning. She is out doing activities at 2 in the afternoon, and she's down at dinner at 6 in the evening. So I wrote it down to like maybe have someone look at this. And here's hoping today that they sat down, they had a conversation with her, and be like, okay, what times work for you so we can get you this entire, because we got to set up the thing, we got to get her the cream, and then we got to take care of the sitz bath. And yeah, so it was we need to have it scheduled so we can work it into where we are in the med pass. It shouldn't. Your thread shouldn't be shredding. I have, geez, I wish I don't even have. I have a little tool generally that I think. Let's see. Let me. I'll get back to you on that. I have a whole package of needles that tells me what size is what, and I can generally size, but I'm using an itty bitty needle. Let's see. I'll pull it up on the right side. Once I find a place where I can. Oh, this color. It's gonna be the death of me. Okay, so I'll look in there. Yep, it's down low enough. Let's see. Two oh. Okay, so this is an itty bitty needle. Um, let me go grab my. Yeah, it's it's on the smaller end. Hmm. Tension is important. But it shouldn't be, it should not be shredding your thread when you're pulling it. Because let's see, I how it's very much like uh keep seasoning until your ancestors tell you to stop is essentially how I pick my needle size. Um, I always prefer working with the smaller needles because I use two strands, so it's not awful, but I mean, for this fabric, let's see if I can actually pull my magnet close. Because I with cleaning, I actually gained access to my magnet. Nope, that doesn't have enough. So you guys will love my magnet, as my magnet picks up all of my metal stuff around me. Okay, so this is my magnet of stuff. Okay, so I am using, it's smaller than a 24, so I'm looking at some, maybe it is a 24. Oh my, but yeah, these are 24s. So next question is, are you using an embroidery needle or are you using a tapestry needle? Because those are two different things. Fun fact, embroidery needles are not sharp. They have a blunt end. They are designed for going through pre-made holes like Ada cloth. Tapestry needles are designed for fabric, but they have a bigger eye so that you can put thicker thread through. So you can work on tapestries for embroidery. So that's another thing, is if you're using a tapestry needle, you are shredding your fabric because that's what pointy ends do. Oh, yeah. So that might be the problem. Two, three down. One. Oh my goodness, let me see. I'm just looking now, because this is DMC, so it specifically tells you, like, hey, what's it good? What is it good for? This, that, the other thing. So that's what I was looking on. But I don't know if the camera will pick it up. That's the downside to not having autofocus on, is when I move it close. You can see that is not a sharp point. Let me grab one of the sharp pointy ones so I can show you the difference. Oh my goodness. If my hands will work today. So, and that's a sharp. Oh my holy Hannah. And I'm looking at it myself to see if you can, yeah, you can definitely tell a difference between the sharp end and the blunt end. The shorter one is the embroidery needle, and the other one is the tapestry. one of our longtime peeps, Polar Bear Dad, was using tapestry needles, and he poked himself, and that's a whole long running gag. But that's what it is. And there's nothing wrong. You can use tapestry needles with cross stitch. You just have to be more mindful that if you miss the hole by any amount, that the needle will puncture through the fabric and will create weird gaps. And if you have if you have to stab the needle through, you're more prone to getting stabbed with the pointy end of a needle. Let's We might actually hit 1% on stream. And again, and some kits, some manufacturers don't differentiate between the two, but there is a very subtle difference. It's not a life-changing difference. It might be a life-changing difference, but cross-stitch needles, embroidery needles are blunt. Whereas the tapestry needles, because if you've ever gone up, not that you're really supposed to be touching old tapestries, but they're a heavier fabric. They're like curtains. They're embroidered curtains. Is essentially a tapestry. It's a it's a weird section of this hobby that I know about that bores most people to death. Is the differentiation between the subtleties of the particular arts that involve string and fabric. And it's very subtle. It's so embroidery is generally done on silk. Um, Modern day embroidery is generally done on canvas, or not canvas, thin cotton. Traditionally, it was done on silk. Um, Cross stitch is what you're seeing here. It's traditionally done with Ada cloth in X's, and that creates the entire picture. Is the cross stitch. Needlepoint is cross stitch with yarn. No, it's not even cross stitch with it. It's a tent stitch. It's all half stitches with yarn used, and they use it's not even Ada cloth. It's closer to carpet backing is what they use for traditional needlepoint. Now there are hybrids, and in this day and age, it's multimedia, but in the traditional sense, there are rules. um, I like to break the rules, but I have to know the rules in order to break them. I'm trying to figure, like, I have two little X's, and there's a count error in this area, so I have to count off of this one instead of that one, which yeah, yeah. I'm dazed and confused. Let's see if that looks roughly in there. Okay, it does. And I think for purposes this in these days, um, the packaging, like I was looking at DMC. So DMC is most cross stitchers base level. Like there's DMC, there's Anchor, there's JP Coats. Um, so like there are name brands, but so with DMC these days, it puts sharp point at the top to tell you, hey, this is a sharp pointy end. But these are chenille needles. Who would who would want to? But also on the back of the DMC, it tells you. And I'm pretty sure it's mirrored, so I apologize for that. Um, it just tells you what it's good for in this little paragraph at the bottom here. But for a very long time, I've just been go until your ancestors tell you to stop. with what needle. But White Buffalo Woman actually, towards the end of her progress, I used a sharp needle because there was so much fabric that I had to use the sharp point to get where I needed to go. If you have wonky back stitching, oops, if you have wonky back stitching, a sharp tip is very handy so you can move the individual threads. Like, I know some back stitching goes only like halfway through, and with a sharp point you can arrange for that to happen, and it doesn't cause as much pain because the blunt end needles don't work through the fabric with such ease. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about needles. Do we we can go into other kinds of needles because I am diabetic. And I know about those needles too. Needle gauge is very important. Okay. I'm almost done this little section of color. Like, I should have been done this color before I came on air. That's how little of it there is. 4 from that. One of the, like, I have been known to swap out. I each project of mine generally has 2 or 3 needles. This needle might not live the entire life of Captain Penis, because the eyes break just from the friction of the thread moving up and down. It so many stitches, it just wears the eye out, and that's mostly how my needles have died, is their eyes snap. And I don't, like, you'll hear some people talk about how they have a preferred type of needle, preferred brand. Oh, let's get the gold tip ones, they move through smoother. It's like, okay, well, that and some of them do. It's kind of like with crochet hooks. I am learning that the back sides of crochet hooks, let me see. I know my 4mm is over here somewhere because I was practicing. Both Jules and Dragon reminded me that practice is how I get better at things. So I have made like the same butterfly wing for my Meadow Dragon. I'm practicing the Meadow Dragon because I do want to make a plush for either March or April. March, April, May, one of those 3 months. The present will be the Meadow Dragon that I've been talking about. It's going to be such a girly, pink, floofy dragon that it's going to be hilarious. But it's going to have giant butterfly, swallowtail style wings. It's going to be light pink as the body, dark pink as the other colors. But I need to practice because Megan Lapp, gorgeous work, does complicated order of her stitches. See, and I just get surgical steel. Like, most of my needles are surgical steel. I don't need them to have any sort of plating or anything like that. I use the surgical steel needles. They don't deteriorate. I have a few nickel plated. But yeah, I don't have fancy dancy, but I have, this is one of my crochet hooks. It's my 4mm. I like this back. Apparently it's called the inline back because it's so flat. Most base level crochet hooks you'll get have a bubble back, like it's just more rounded. So it's some tools make the job easier. I'm going to be the queen of the string. Queen of the string. I'm really close to being queen of string. Like legit, no joke. I have a lot of string. Like a lot of string and paint, string and paint. I'm a very confused giraffe. And beads, string, paint, bead. I am a craft store, and yeah. What is that? I have like two more stitches. And again, much like yesterday, I'm gonna have to start a whole new piece of string for two or three stitches, which is infuriating. I tell people use like I am not a gatekeeper when it comes to crafts. If it makes you happy, do it. I don't care. Like if you want to learn how to do it properly, I will gladly show you how to do it properly. But if you if if you just want to stab string into a piece of fabric and then call it art, go right ahead. Like that, I have grown up with too many grannies with matching panties and bras critiquing my the back of my work. Too, I realize that Spoopy, you might not get that joke. So, um, I again, I don't gatekeep. I want people to be happy in doing the crafts that they are doing. If it does not bring you joy, you are allowed to stop. You are allowed to stop your works in progress. You're allowed to give up and move on to a different project. Not gonna shame, not gonna gatekeep. You don't like that craft? And it's kind of why I offer to foster things. I do so many arts and crafts that if someone sees a craft that they really, really like and they're like, oh, I totally want this as a finished product, but then they're like, no, I can't do this. I'll finish a project for someone and give it back to them. But I grew up with a lot of little ladies asking to see the back of my work, and I have very clean backs. Inadvertently, I do not try. Even my first cross stitch has a very clean back, and that should have been a sign of a craft that I've never done before. That I have the professionalism of an expert. There were signs. There were signs. Um, and I tell people that if you are looking at the back of a project and judging someone for it, then you must always be wearing matching panties and bras because nobody can see them, but they still have to look perfect in your eyes. Did I freeze? No. And the only thing I can say like for pro having a clean back is it makes framing easier. The piece lies flatter, but beyond that, do what makes you happy. Motherfucker. I do. I have to start a whole new piece of string for two stitches that are in the middle of the page, so it's not like I can squeak around the edge and be like, oh, hey, yo, I'll totally get these later. Yeah, no, middle of the fucking page. I apparently ate something. Did I eat? I haven't had anything hot today. My tongue hurts. So maybe I was window licking in my sleep. Because I didn't have. Let's see. I had peanut butter checks for breakfast. I had breakfast, people. I might not have lunch because I had breakfast, but I had breakfast. Now the next step is because these two stitches are in weird places. Okay, so right there. Okay. Yay! We're gonna get a color finish. Hey, that's a good way to start a day. Like it, for me, cross stitching is it centers me. If I just allowed myself the time I could, and I do this. I do this more when I don't have so much on my plate, but I will bring one of my projects downstairs. Actually, I have a downstairs project. I just need to fix my feet. Let's see. I'm thinking. No, no. Ooh. I might be able to. Maybe. Anyway, I sit and husband creature and I will pop on something on the TV and I will center and I will work on it, and that's kind of what I'm moving to is all the hecticness of the holiday is over, and I am giving myself a month to just chillax. Um, I will do stuff idle here and there because I do have projects that I do want to get done, but at the same time I'm not gonna run myself into the ground. I need to dig myself out of the 6 foot hole that I placed myself in through the past. Geez, August is 8, so 1 2 4 months. Yeah. Okay, we are done. 550 on the page. We got a color finish. Woo woo. Mostly because I know the I did pick a big color. Like I legit I picked a big color to hop onto today. Um, I got distracted with my needle TED talk and 4 a.m. Bleh, bleh. I went to bed at 1 my time. But I also don't get out of work till 11, so. Hmm. Oh, so looking at my string yesterday, I think I told you guys about how I knocked over the container holding Divine Instincts colors all over the floor and how I had to reorganize them. Well, let me tell you, yesterday I I was oh my goodness, I was turning this chair. Now this chair has a very high back and it leans back, so it has a little bit more of a swing than I do because I don't sit back in it. Like if I'm watching TV, I'll recline and whatnot. But when I'm here on stream, I try to keep good posture, mostly because that's how I can see my stuff. But I swung the chair around and I hit the table that is this table right here. That all the string is on, and the container was open. All the string went everywhere, and yeah, there was some cursing. Okay, I want to get rid of. Okay, we are moving over to 905 because we have finished the color on the page. Oh my goodness. So this first page has lots of greens and blues. So while I complain that I don't want any more greens or blues, it's inevitable. Ugh. I'm pretty sure when we get to skin tone and whatnot, I'll be complaining about tans and browns, because there's no winning this game. There's no winning in this Game of Thrones. Can't wait for the groans. Okay, 905 is the color we're working on. It's a green. It's a green. Oh, oh no. Oh. So, for the heaven and earths, sometimes I have to have more than one, but I have loads of these. So I just realized why I didn't have something in one of them. So most of the time, I have them set up like this, so I know which project it is, because I'm so smart. But Captain Penis doesn't have that. Not that many people come over to my house, but when I do videos and whatnot, I'm not always the best at paying attention as to what's behind me. And that leads to a lot of interesting scenarios. I try to clean them up as best I can. I try to have a nice clean background. Like right now my background is very, very messy because my background is very, very messy. But I can only imagine just having that picture right on the front of the box and someone walking by and wondering what it is. I'm just super glad that Twitch clarified its stance on nudity. Because when I first started him, that's why on the loading screen he has the smiley face that occasionally it loops around and it rolls in, is because I wanted to show off the whole thing, but not for long, because Twitch has a very gray area when it comes to nudity. They are very clear that there should be no explicit streams, and no nudity on stream. But this is a cross stitch. Like I was wondering how is hello Jules, and I was trying to work around that. Mind you, I knew that it would be several years before we had to worry about Captain Penis's namesake, because it's dead center. Like it's the dead center page, and that will take me a little while. But still, it was a question of how am I going to do this? And they cleared it up. But at the same time, okay, I got to figure out where I'm going to start. So, 905 is more leaves. More leaves. I'm trying to find a block area where I can just kind of harken and stitch. And I mean, it's a good color. Like it spot up here out of camera sight. There's a little spot right here. It goes down the center. I'm trying to figure it out. It goes down the center of the leaf here, towards the end. It's the center of the leaf. And yeah, so I mean, there's plenty of block. It's just okay. Mm-mm. One of the things I might do this weekend even is, other than getting my background clean, is do a newer load in video, because it has me in my nice comfy unicorn blanket and whatnot. But I've grown since I made that video, so I wanna make it a little bit better. So I'm gonna. This is a weird travel video. I'm gonna go down this, and then I'm gonna do the center of the. There is option to go down this way, but I don't want. And I have enough of it done that I can go where I want. I'm just trying to figure out how to travel there. Oh, my brain just keeps flashing back to Spoopy's crate falling everywhere. I've had that happen. I've had it happen. And that's another one of the reasons I don't travel with the big projects anymore, because I've had that happen. The big projects are park and barks. I park and they stay right where they are. Not even Buffalo Woman. Buffalo Woman traveled a couple of times, but for the most part, Buffalo Woman stayed home. I love it. I I really appreciate Santana. Let me the artist who did this, Santana something. Can't remember her last name for the life of me right now. She does a lot of, not, I wouldn't, it's like risque but not overtly sexual art, and she does a lot of symbolism, and I really really like her art overall. Is some of it a little bit too much? Yes, but that can be said about any one thing. um I really I enjoy the artwork of call dance. um I am not, I'm not brave enough to post a piece of art that this big in my house yet. um because I mean, of this topic, like Dionysus is one thing. I could totally, he's the god of fertility and wine. So him sitting in a vat of wine with his dick in it, it's great. I love it. And I love her art. I just like like I fight with, a lot of programming from culture about it. So I'm not 100% comfortable, but I also am continually having a conversation with myself about, why the fuck does this make me uncomfortable? And why do I love it all at the same time? It's like it's not it's not pie. Just because someone else gets more doesn't mean you're getting less. Um and I really like how artists are allowing their art to be transformed into other forms of art, like with the cross stitch. Carla, I had her, Carla Sparrow, something like. her dragon art. I mean, I have I have a deck of a deck of tarot cards with her art on it. Same with Raven Phelan is I have a deck of tarot cards with her art on it. They're beautiful. They're over in a corner right now. Not because they're in timeout. That's just where they happen to be right now. But they're beautiful, and they called to me. And and mm-hmm. But sometimes, like, I'm not always going to say like I'm always comfortable in some topics that I talk about. But the reason I talk about them is to gain comfort and to learn and to grow and to get other people's opinions. Like sometimes humans can be myopic in beliefs and sights, and I'm trying to I have places where I have places where I'm like, no, nope, nothing you can say is going to change my mind. But I try to grow and be a better person every day. And that's the best I can do. Oh, oh, that sounds beautiful. I'll have to look that up. Hmm, that's I have so on National Women's Day, Heaven and Earth releases free patterns. If you follow their Facebook page, they release some beautiful free patterns. Like when there was some Ukraine support, um, like they released a pattern with the Ukrainian colors in a heart shape in flame, and it's a beautiful pattern. They released it for free. On National Women's Day a couple years ago, they released a a, a essentially Woman on Fire is I don't remember its proper name, but it's just a fae of and a nice it looks like a dryad just on fire, like walking towards you kind of thing. Beautiful. But yeah, I try to collect the free ones when I can. And I hit the sales up. That's how I have so many patterns. Is do I think I'm going to get them all done? Fuck no. But I never know which one I'm going to want to do. So that's why collecting or buying the patterns and doing the patterns are two different hobbies. Oh, I need to get more into like the oranges and the fiery colors. I am very much a cool color kind of gal. I like the dark. I like the dark colors, the dark blues, purples, greens, the darker reds, the more toned down oranges. But I know that I need to invest and explore into the warmer, brighter, more vibrant colors. That's why I'm gonna make a pink fairy dragon. I'm pink. Pink and I have an agreement. I guess today's probably gonna be the day where I don't get. I want to break 200 and I'm only at 58. So uh, It's okay though. I'm doing confetti work too. I'm getting down. I'm getting down to where I'll hit a patch of things I can just go back and forth on. But till then, I actually have to pay attention. Dixie's in the doorway. She's sleeping, but she's doing her dream runs. I hear her nail click on the floor every once in a while. I I mean, yesterday I got over 400 stitches, so I'm not upset with that. I have that pesky work thing in between my free time, so I only I can only win so many battles. Mm-hmm. But tonight at work we have 3 people, which means 2 cards a pop, which is phenomenal. Um, I have tonight. I've this week I've seen everybody in the entire facility, and tonight is well, I've seen 2 out of the 3 combinations, and tonight I close out with that last combo. So there are 3 new ladies that I'm still trying to get a get a feel for. Mm-hmm. Actually, I managed to get my camera in a good spot today. Okay. Just hoping I have enough for a half. I do. Hooray! Mm-hmm. That is wow. That's a story. Like like a hoop screw or like drywall screw. and picking up all the colors that I dropped on the floor, I realized I haven't properly prepped all of call dance. Now, I I tend to like switch. Like, I know that Divine Instinct has a couple of colors that I use in call dance, so I'll go over to, and they all have enough colors in the back that if I run out, I already have the colors. But I try to I try to keep it down to like one bobbin because I have and it can't be seen, but I have boxes and boxes of just organized by number thread. And then I have up on the top shelf of my big storage rack, I have, because I save like plastic containers, and I have the plastic containers just filled with unbobbined floss. I have a giant container of of floss that I don't know what it is. It doesn't have a label. It was old from leftover um, kits and whatnot. I use it for crochet earrings. Oh yeah, yeah. So like I have a lot. Let's I get that. I did. The mystery of the screw in the flaw. Well, Pixie apparently feels crying is the way to solve all of her problems. I don't know why she's crying, but she is. Feeling in the white spot. I hear all the little birds outside because of the bird seed. Yesterday, when I peeped out the window, there was a woodpecker um, eating at the suet, and not the house, nicely enough. Yeah. Okay, we're up to at least 92 stitches. I'll break 100 today. There's construction going on my road, and the hammering or whatever they're doing sounds like it sounds like an off balanced load. So I keep hearing them hammering, and I'm like, are we doing laundry? uh, so next week, as far as I know, these are all subject to change. Monday and Tuesday will be Divine Instinct. Wednesday is Yay, Happy New Year, and I'm not streaming on Wednesday. And Thursday will be long stream with Call Dance here. And Friday is dual stream with Death. So who knows what I'll be in the mood for at that point in time. It's going to be in the evening because Das has one of those lovely day jobs. So jealous. So jealous of the day job. But Das has a day job. So donkeys have very strong opinions. I Donkeys are adorable and I love donkeys, but I really, really, really like mules because they have the intelligence and the sarcasm of a donkey, but they have like the work power of a horse. Not, and they have a little less some stubbornness. Horses are very compliant, which I definitely appreciate. Not saying that there aren't stubborn horses out there, because God knows I have met them. Donkeys have more stubborn. So like mule is like a perfect balance between the hey, I'll work with you and the sassiness of a donkey. Yeah, we can. I also I would say I got to advanced, beginner advanced on Western show riding. Um, I can get I know my way around a horse. Like I know all the basic horse maintenance. I know how to put a saddle on. I know how to clean tack. I know how I can do walk, trot, canter. I could probably handle gallop, but um, I even did some jumping. I did a little bit of jumping. Um, but ultimately, horses, as much as I love them, are too rich for my blood. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like the screen is definitely adding the fill in for the point of the gray cubes. Mhm. Yay, getting down to the center part, the center line. Oh, that's rough. I I don't know if it's I've never been thrown off a horse per se. Um, I have had a horse run me into an I beam, and remembering and thinking back on these, it all makes sense as to why certain body parts hurt. I beams at a trot hurt. Um, I was I was once a sassy little Appaloosa named Duchess. Um, she I was riding bareback, and she decided that she wanted to go for a run, and I was like 10 or 11, and she just decided she wanted to book it, so I just held on and went with it. She didn't try to toss me or anything like that, so that was pretty handy. But we went from casually walking and eating grass to running across the field. So it's like she got a case of the zoomies with a human on her back. So, um, I definitely learned a lot in that zoomie experience. But yeah, I one of the lesson horses I rode was named Menomina. I loved it. Um, and I had hour-long lessons with this horse, so it was very amusing for a young Ra. And one day, one lesson, Mana was he wasn't feeling great, so I didn't ride him. But I did have the opportunity to be put on the back of a retired polo pony, and let me tell you, you you on a touchy ass horse, you just get put on the back of a polo pony. Oh, that was some zippity doo dah day. I'm just trying to figure out where my needle is now. I got I got distracted remembering about Manamana. And that was just his nickname. I don't remember what his registered name was, but yeah, his nickname was Manamana. It's like my best friend, she does dressage, and her horse's nickname is Fluffy. Um, her horse's full name is like 7 years long, so I like settling on Fluffy. Oh yeah, that I kind of had a the trainer I worked with for several years was kind of like that too. But most animals most animals like me. Um, I've never had I I can't say that I've ever panicked. I've been scared, but at the same time, I not it's a weird thing to try to put into words. I know that panicking, like at least on the horses, I knew that panicking wouldn't do me any good one way or the other. Especially like when I got put on the polo pony. You hold on in that. You just hold on. Um, for me, like I'm easily excitable for joyous events, and like if something good happens to someone around me, or good events are happening, I'm easily excitable in that fashion. When it comes to emergencies or scary situations, um, and this is apparently a common trait with people with neurological spicy, neurodiverse people, um, is the lizard, the scared lizard brain goes away, and it just okay, you need to be here, you need to be here, you need to do this, without ever really thinking about it, and then like afterwards is where they have a chaotic meltdown, and that's generally how I am. And I've gotten a little bit better about controlling and understanding it. Like my inner people pleaser is the one that panics. Like I remember one of the first events that I ran, I didn't have enough food, and I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? And we got through it. Everybody got food, but like that was one of the few times that I panicked because I didn't have the knowledge to make it better. Um, yeah. Ooh, yeah, 8 or 9. Yeah, I didn't even start riding horses till I was. Let's see. I'm processing here. Please hold. I was in 7th and 8th grade when I started working with horses. I don't think I was 14 when I started riding. Because, yeah, I was 14 because I was getting ready to go to my first horse camp when I got diagnosed with diabetes. And I had to miss horse camp because I was in the hospital. Um, I was so upset about that too. They gave me a free pass to come back the next year, which I did. But at the same time, it's like, this sucks. Yeah, yeah, and that's what I did when Duchess took off. It wasn't like a panic. Was I scared? Yes, but you buckle on, you hang on, and you wait for it to stop. That doesn't sound like trauma at all. Hang on and wait for it to stop. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh my goodness. Oh, I remembered. I remembered a bitch fest I had for about from last night. So I'm very fortunate at my job where, and mind you, my job's not perfect. It has a lot of things that I wish I could fix. But I am very fortunate in essentially my job is to pass meds. I do not have to do any housekeeping. I do not have to do any food prep. I pass meds and I make sure the meds are safe, they're done correctly. My entire job revolves around making sure the medications are passed safely and on time. We had we only have a couple of people who do laundry. Um and one of them is on vacation. Was on vacation for an entire week, which she's fully allowed to. Not complaining about that. But the person who stepped in is an amazingly nice person. She's super sweet. I have not heard her say much of a cuss word as damn. And even when she was upset like she was last night, she was still as sweet as like Pollyanna levels of sweet this woman is. Um and And so last night, I'm doing meds, I'm doing my thing. Residents come up to me and like, well, we haven't gotten our laundry back yet, and I'm like, well, don't worry about it. It'll be back tonight. You know, the thing that I knew that they didn't was that the laundry person who was stepping in for the person who was on vacation had come in at 6:30 in the morning to find that the lady on vacation never properly labeled her neighborhoods. So the replacement had to because she didn't have any other option, is she had to label all of the clothing appropriately to go so it would get back to their owners. So she spent 4 hours doing that, which put her obviously 4 hours behind. And after all of that, we don't have a whole lot of we don't have a whole lot of men in the facility. Mind you, there is a lot more than there was when I first started, but not a whole lot of old gents. And there were two of them who just were like, well, when am I going to get my laundry? I need my laundry. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, you need to be patient. she like, and so she about 20 minutes later comes up and has their laundry, and she's like, I'm so sorry. It took me so long, and she's on the verge of tears. She's been here since 6:30 in the morning, and at this point in time, at the time it was when this event occurred, it was 6 at night. So she had been there for over 12 hours when she was only scheduled until 1:30 in the afternoon. So she's getting these guys their laundry, and this one guy is like, well, I gave you 3 sets of pajamas. Where are they? And she very kindly goes, no. Um, you did not give me these. I'm very sorry. I will talk to my boss. She was very polite, very proper. Again, Pollyanna levels of sweet and kind. And and he's like, well, you bet. He changed his tone. He went, well, you better look harder because I know I gave you these things. So my ears perk right up. And if you followed me for long enough, or you've known me for long enough, I'm a tad aggressive. I'm not gonna put up with that shit. But I'm at work, so I have to be professional about it. So I I drop my friendly vibe, and I go stand in his doorway, and I give him that look. Is I just look at him. I don't say a damn word. I have a cup of water and a cup of meds in my hand because I was getting ready to go to another person when he dropped that tone with her. And I stood in the doorway and I looked at him, and I looked him dead in the eye. So when I make eye contact, which I don't make a whole lot of eye contact, but if I intentionally make eye contact with you, you get the message real fast. And he stopped. He dropped the tone right away. Um, and then I just quietly walked off. And he didn't raise his voice to her again for the remainder of the interaction. But I did tell my boss, and I do plan on, when I see the laundry lady's boss, I do plan on telling him as well, because that's not cool. Yes. And that's why they use horses for therapy. Is because they do legitimately help. Okay, let's see, where am I? Where am I in the grand scheme of things? Hmm? So I, funny enough, didn't really set a mini goal for today. Um, but I let's see. Oh, I'm just noticing my microphone's not in the right spot. Only took me almost half my stream. Um, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping in the next half hour to get to the bottom. I think the. Oh no, I'm wrong. I am almost down to the bottom though. I've almost reached the mini goal that I just set for myself. Now, I think I have enough with this one axe, but if not, fortunately enough, just below it is more of this. Nope, I got enough. Woo! Okay. Oh, 0.94. I know that I need to get about 400 stitches today to hit 1%, and I'll probably get that, but just not on stream. I've only done 140. So next mini goal. I don't have any more. I'll get where I get today. This has been one of the busiest, the most draining weeks. Like, I've been busy a lot, but this week, just because of the holidays, has just been draining. Because not just my holidays are actually relatively low drain, but seeing so many people at the facility just not going out with their families was just rough. For whatever reason, like I don't know everybody's backstory, but for whatever reason, it's rough. I'm gonna back up top here. Yeah, yeah. You're still under the holiday pressure, Jules. My requirements have been met. Mm-hmm. 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 Uh, I'll send my extra spoons to you, Jules. I'll send you a portion of my extra spoons. Husband creature doth protest. My brain wandered off. Oh, I got over 150 stitches. That's good. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. That is a very amusing cow. I did one day of family stuff and ooh. Oh my goodness. Apparently, fine motor skills are not on my top usable skills today.
inspiration they mold in their buzzing, I find compelling. A reminder of the power I hold. So I embrace the bees within my brain, even when they drive me insane. For in their chaos, I find a refrain of the beauty and complexity of my inner terrain.
I gotta say, except for Tuesday, I had a normal week.
Will never understand that this
Or what my brain perceives as normal.
and I have chosen to embrace
It was nice. Ugh. I'm sure I could have had more, but I opted not to. Um, my my family all have jobs that A, give them the weekends off, B, are your traditional working hours, 8 to 4, 9 to 5 kind of thing. So when they do their Christmas parties, they start them at the ass crack of dawn on Saturday. And I work almost every Friday. And I'm 3 hours away. So I gracefully opt to not do them anymore. There are more reasons behind that, but that is the main one. Is the last one I went to. They didn't wait for me to start anything and then got upset that I didn't participate in anything. So that was a rough one, but it was like, nah, not gonna do that anymore. Yeah, you probably did. If you could probably say you're just having a flare. You'd be like, nah, not coming. Okay, doke. One more line and I'll reach a good stopping point. Okie doke. So we went from 0.92 to 0.95% with 178 stitches. So I can very easily get that last 0.05%. We will hit 1% by the end of the year. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I will be back here on Monday. Drink your water, take your meds, be kind to yourself without harming others, and be kind to others without harming yourself. I will see everybody on the flip side and have fun. As as feature goes to sleep, he's done.